What's up, Space Pirates? This is your Admiral, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster. And the only thing worse than a game that is filled to the brim with progressive activist crap when all you wanted to do was get a little escapism is a game filled with all that same progressive slop, but it's also filled with bugs.
You mean bugs? I hate bugs!
Yeah, not much unites gamers in their rage against a developer quite like a game that's chock full of bugs. This is one of the chief reasons why Ubisoft, as an example, has seen its reputation damaged so heavily in the past few years. Way too many of their games end up like Star Wars Outlaws, where the game is just a buggy mess at launch. You often pay $70 and all you end up with is unfinished slop, to the point where you're just looking at the screen and going,
"Get that nasty shit out of my face!"
Well, this is what appears to be happening with Obsidian's upcoming Avowed, which is due to come out now in about a week and a half. Never mind all the controversy going on with the game surrounding the progressive pronoun system that they plugged into the title and the subsequent response from the developers as they attacked and mocked gamers who had questions about all this. Never mind all that. The director of the game herself has just come out in an interview and admitted that the game is going to launch as a buggy mess.
And I'm not gonna let anyone get in my way! I'm a failure.
Now, for a game that's not exactly setting the world on fire with its numbers already, considering it just broke into the top 100 for the top sellers on Steam, but for a game like this, that isn't exactly what you're looking for. In a recent interview, the director set expectations for everyone with this game. Despite the fact that it was already delayed a few months, the game is still apparently very buggy. And for anyone who was on the fence, who was maybe tempted to get this game and to play it, let this admission from the director be a warning. It was meant to subtly lower expectations, but let's be honest, if they are knowingly releasing an unfinished game, then this is a major red flag, telling us that this is a studio that does not give a shit about gamers. They just want to lure you in.
It's a trick. Get an axe.
Alright, me hearties, make sure you hit that like button on the video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it already, and don't forget to give me a follow over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster1. But alright, there's been a lot of talk about Avowed and the pronoun controversy and all that kind of thing, but something that has been forgotten in the discussion of this game is the fact that it was actually supposed to have been released all the way back in the fall sometime. But they pushed this thing back, and rumors spread that it was because the game was janky as hell. In this article, PC Gamer humiliates themselves running cover for Microsoft here. They're just so transparently the mouthpieces of these corporate schmucks. Reading from here, it says, Microsoft has such an embarrassment of riches, in fact, that Phil Spencer says it's letting these studios take their time where it's needed. Obsidian's hotly anticipated Avowed, a fantasy RPG that it's desperate for people not to compare to Skyrim. Yeah, that's bullshit, by the way. They really want people to compare it to Skyrim. But it was at one point scheduled for a fall 2024 release, but in August was delayed into February 2025. The reason? Microsoft said it was all about players, giving us a chance to get through those backlogs. What kindness. They unquestioningly swallow that kind of shit from these corporations because game journalists are not curious or investigative unless someone dares to challenge their corporate masters. but it sure sounds like actually they were full of shit, and that actually Avowed has a sizable chunk of bugs in it. This article here comes from .esports, another corporate ass-kissing game journalist site. It tries to make light of the fact that Avowed is being described by its own director as janky, but make no mistake, this is a red flag, especially in light of the fact that the game was given several months to work these bugs out. I mean, based on this admission from the director, the game was clearly delayed because of the bugs. But anyhow, let's read what she said. The .esports headline says, Avowed director says to accept the jank, which is exactly what my Elder Scrolls heart wanted to hear. Really? Because as somebody who loves Elder Scrolls, I can say that my heart wants to hear that a game that I'm playing is actually finished. Imagine reading a novel that was full of typos. You wouldn't take it seriously, in the same way that we shouldn't seriously consider playing games that release like this. But the article says, in a recent interview, game director Carrie Patel answered some rapid-fire questions about Avowed's impending release, including what players should expect from the game's jankiness levels. You gotta accept a little jank to do something fun or creative, I think, Patel commented in reference to both Avowed and The Outer Worlds, another game developed by Obsidian. While some gamers may be worried about the polish level of a major release, I think a bit of jank can go a long way towards making a gaming experience all the more enjoyable and memorable. And here's where we get the sales pitch from the game journalist as to why actually game-breaking bugs are a good thing. Hell, at this point I damn near expect them to tell us we should pay extra for bugs at launch. I'm sure studios like Ubisoft would be more than happy to charge us a little extra for Assassin's Creed Shadows when that turd comes out and doesn't work properly. You think I'm exaggerating, and maybe I am a little bit, but the writer is actually trying to sell us on jank. He writes, "When I think about janky games, I can't help but immediately picture many of my Skyrim playthroughs. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the game and its lasting impact on the industry, but we all know that it can be a hot mess in the best way possible. The game presents a world filled with strange clipping issues and unrealistic NPC behavior, making it a paradise of hilarious moments that stick in your brain forever." And then he goes into a Skyrim story trying to convince us that actually it's a-okay, that Avowed is going to be broken. But the thing is, Skyrim came out going on 14 years ago, and they, back then, were pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible in gaming. This title is essentially a Skyrim clone. They've constantly courted comparisons to Skyrim. They want to be known as the Elder Scrolls killer, but you aren't going to get the same level of leeway on this game as Elder Scrolls got with Skyrim. For cripe's sake, when Skyrim came out, that was on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. We are 2 generations of consoles removed from that, and this game does not appear to be offering anything new or seminal, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be particularly groundbreaking, but after 14 years of this genre being explored in the wake of Skyrim, we expect the bugs to be cut out. When the makers of Skyrim put out Starfield, that game didn't get a pass, and this one won't either. It's just one more reason why Avowed is likely to die on the vine and sell like crap. But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your contempt for this ridiculous practice of knowingly releasing unfinished slop into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.